Good morning, everybody. Yeah, this is cancer. This copy of Windows is not genuine. That's complete and utter bullshit. But that's fine, because that's not what we're after today. You know what? I made like a 6-minute clip before this of, I'm not gonna do the thing. You know what I am gonna do? We're gonna cut from here, because Windows it's being stupid. So we're gonna cut from here. Come on! Okay. The first thing I'm going to do is this system in no way should be drawing 500 watts. So I'm going to go grab a different power supply that's got a functioning fan. And then I will meet you back in the spare bedroom directly above the garage, which I'm in. And we'll get to work installing something on this pretty old computer. Anyways, see you guys later. Okay, so we moved. I've got the new power supply in, so it doesn't sound like it's dying. Now, I just wanted to make sure it would even get to the setup screen. Like, if it got here, I'm, generally gonna be like, oh yeah, it's just gonna work. Fine. But now, I would like to get and I have one somewhere. I'm just gonna, Windows, get out of here, Linux, i386, and there we go. So we've got a 32-bit version of Linux Mint. And so what I'd like to do is I'd like to go grab a DVD, which I know where those are. And then I'm not gonna install it. I'm gonna live boot it. And that's gonna give me USB access so that if I need to desperately save anything, or I'd like to save anything, I can. And I'll be back after that happens. Okay, can't see the logo, but we've got Linux Mint loading. I don't know how long this will take, but once it loads into a desktop, wow, it's really blown out. There we go. Once it loads into a desktop, then I'll meet you back here. Yay, we're in format land. So, Linux Mint, that worked, got some pictures, gonna transfer those. We're formatting the 80 gig hard drive. I had to do some cable swapping, it turned out, to get this to work. We're formatting the 80 gig hard drive as the C drive for Windows 2000. Tip for anyone that wants to install Windows like 2000 on an actual machine. Make sure that in your motherboard, the first SATA device is the drive you're trying to install to. If you have to, swap cables around, figure out, if you have like 2 drives in your system like I do, swap your cables to make the drive you're actually trying to install to SATA port number 1 or the highest hard drive in the SATA chain. Like, you can have 6 SATA devices, which, I mean, legitimately you could have, a hard drive behind here, a hard drive under here. This is a floppy disk drive that actually is a floppy drive. It doesn't work, but that's not the point. Then you have, I'm not showing anything yet, so hard drive, floppy disk in the middle. Then you have 4 bays here. And what do those 4 bays do? Well, the top one's the DVD drive that I'm installing everything on. What if in the future I decide to upgrade this machine with another DVD drive? Or maybe I had the DVD drive here, but before that I had a CD drive, which I actually do still have, but it's dead. I think we went over that. So you had that installed for CD audio. And then, beyond that, maybe you had a front bay USB something, or maybe you had something in the front bay that held another hard drive, or maybe you had a Blu-ray drive, down the road, or an HD DVD drive, whatever. Everything. So eventually you filled up 6 SATA ports. As long as the hard drive you're trying to install Windows 2000 on is the highest priority hard drive, it seems to like it. But, anyways, yay! So once I got that figured out, I got to formatting, and so yeah, I use Linux Mint to rescue photos. Yeah. This is actually, just to explain, this is my papa's old computer. And so what he replaced it with, and the reason I actually even have this, is he bought a new laptop for the new apartment because the computer was getting old. It was serving him well over 10 years. From what I can recall, this computer is at least been running in its current configuration for 10 years. Because the GPU is it's 10 years old. The GPU that is in this right now is at least 10 years old, meaning that the current configuration of the system has been running for 10 years, but former configurations were running for years before that. This computer has to, at some level, date back to Windows XP. I knew it had XP on it, and then he had to switch to Windows 7, but prior to this thing being the way it is now, it was definitely running XP on an older chip. I actually have that motherboard box, because my Uncle Dave, before, he was the tech guy before, he passed away. And so this is a computer that he built. This was his machine, and then when he upgraded it to like this, for my papa, this was a machine he built, this was a machine for my papa, so that was part of the reason I wanted it. The other part of the reason is, hey, I'm installing Windows 2000 on hardware, Jesus Christ! And it's actually decent, let me tell you, for the era. It is 2007 decent. It has a Core 2 Duo in it. That runs at like 3.6 something gigahertz, and then it has, the DVD drive it's beige. It's all beige, so it at least all matches. Now, what's so cool about it is the GPU. It's 2007 good graphics card. So it's a NVIDIA GeForce. No, sorry. Yeah, actually, let me show you the box. It's an Asus. Board, but it is an NVIDIA 8600 GT. It's a silent card, meaning it has no fan. Literally no fan on it, and apparently runs 7 degrees cooler than generic board or your OEM board, like basically the base board, the what do they call them now? The reference design. Basically, it was supposed to be better than a reference board, but Silent PC Review begged to differ. But Silent PC Review, is silent, so makes complete sense. Anywho, that's all for now. This is long-winded, but this PC is actually going to be decently useful. Because I'm going to install Windows 2000 on it and get some multimedia. I'm going to try and find VLC. That'll work. And I know VLC is the way it is, so I should be able to find one. And then I'm going to try and get all the drivers. That's really what I need to work on. I need to work on network drivers. Because I have a video driver. Like, I have VGA driver that has DirectX 9, so it's Win2K XP Vista 162.18. And Vista 3264-bit 162.22. Oh, sorry, yeah, 2K XP XP64 so it's got two different versions for the OSs that it supports. So I'm going to install the Windows 2000 version, and then I'm going to try and track down network drivers for this motherboard, which shouldn't be hard because the board's still listed on ASUS's website. I'm going to get those network drivers over, and then I will be able to get the rest of the drivers either networked over, or I'll install Linux next, and then use Linux to put drivers on the desktop, because I think that'll work. Anyways, this is a long-winded segment. This is a long-winded vlog, because this is a process. And in 45 minutes, I'll be attempting to watch WWE SummerSlam, Because I am a fucking sociopath. Okay, so I've tried this a few times, but have run into just issues. I'm hoping that hopefully I figured out that the motherboard I had identified earlier was just the wrong motherboard, and that's why the drivers weren't working. Because, apparently, I legitimately found the complete, this might be part of I found the entire wrong motherboard, because there are two motherboards. With the PQ5L nomenclature. One of them is a PQ5L Pro, which most people would assume either came out at the same time or, was newer. No, they're two completely different motherboards. Why the one is called Pro, I don't fucking know, but it's quite possible that for once and for all, my internet is working. Is it? We'll find out. Go to Device Manager. Holy Jesus Christ, it is. Meaning, you're here for the magical moment. When Firefox just loads. Try again. That's wrong. Hell. Check for updates. Finish. It's not identifying. Okay, Firefox isn't doing. Holy shit. Is it gonna work? Holy fuck. You're here for the moment when it works. So, yeah, the whole issue I was having, which you guys didn't see, because those turned into 5-minute clips of nonsense, was I couldn't get drivers to install. Why couldn't I get drivers to install, you might ask? I'll tell you fucking why. Because it turns out I was grabbing drivers for a different motherboard. Fuck! Now that's just gonna work. And that whole hour plus to the point, it got to the point where I just threw my fucking Queen Live at Wembley up, because I needed to calm, but fuck my life. Now, another thing I may have mentioned earlier was Linux, and while Linux boots, I think due to the way that the hard drives are configured to just work, I ran into a bit of an issue. Okay. Anywho, I'm going to reset, and it should have an audio driver when it reboots. That would be nice. And then, hopefully, if I can actually get the internet functioning, if just Firefox is being a prick, hopefully I can get a new version of Firefox installed, and hopefully life will be better. I'll report back to you if life... Alright, this is the last update for the vlog today, because I need to edit this and fucking go to bed. Because it's like I just couldn't help but be up. So, I did get the drivers installed, they worked, and beyond that, I got Firefox to a more usable version. I tried to install VLC, but I think the version I've got is just being a fucking asshole. And so I need to just read whatever the error is and figure out what the fuck it wants. And even determine if I'm running Service Pack 4, which is a complete possibility that I'm not. So although I'm pretty sure I am. It might just be it's bitching at me. I will just have to figure it out. Otherwise, I have to just figure out how to forcibly update a bunch of key applications to newer versions and then reinstall some stuff, get updated drivers. But at this point, my real plan is to just unhook this Windows hard drive at some point once I get it to a state where I like it and completely rely on the second hard drive that just has Linux on it. But honestly, at some point, I'd like to put the GPU that's in here in my main system to see if it actually helps with video editing. And if it does, well, unfortunately, until I can either get a better GPU for here or... Oh, fuck, man. I don't know. At this point, I don't know what I'm going to do, but I do have a couple of games installed. I have MX vs. ATV Unleashed. Which it just was mostly to test the demand of the 3D. It booted, it ran fine, no jittering. Then I installed Fallout. But yeah, I have Firefox. And I'm just going to try and get an older version of VLC to work. Because I would like to see MP3 support, because I don't want to fiddle with trying to get download packages for really fucking old versions of stuff. So I am just going to go to something really late in the 0.9 era, because I know that didn't have any special requirements. Meaning it should just fucking work. Other than that, I don't even know. I will just probably install Linux on the entire second drive, and I'll have to swap cables whenever I want one or the other booted. But that should be fine. I'm probably just going to fiddle with this until I get it nice, or if I decide I just want to install Linux at some point, because I got Linux booted onto just RAM, and it was, I mean, it doesn't surprise me, but it was actually handling YouTube quite well, which is a fucking godsend, because if this thing can do YouTube and a bunch of other shit that I need it to do, then we might have a winner on our hands. So I'm just going to install this version of VLC, and assuming it boots... Oh, it's very possible that Mozilla plugin was doing it. That's a huge possibility. I just want to fucking see an MP3 play. Once I hear that, this video will end. I will say goodnight and actually mean it. Okay. Task manager. Holy shit. Manual download only. Jesus Christ. Open my computer. Move that shit over. Get fucked. Oh my god. Life might have just picked up. And... You might question your life when you hear that, but I just fucking smile. It works. I have one further test. I've officially gone crazy. Welcome to the fucking club. Woo! Good night.